Sara, I'm so happy to have you on the podcast with me.
I'm happy to be here.
Can you tell us who you are?
I am Sara Escobar. I'm the Global Head of Workplace and Real Estate for Riot Games.
I'm so happy we're having this conversation.
Me too. It's been a long time coming.
Exactly. We've had many conversations in the past, but never on the Beyond Work podcast. I'm so lucky that now we live in the same city, in Los Angeles, and your entire career was built in LA, right?
Yeah. So I started in Workplace at Hulu in 2007, and that's before Workplace really was even called Workplace.
Yeah.
Culture teams didn't really exist yet. They were still called HR. People teams definitely didn't exist. They were still called HR. And so I've really gotten to see the evolution of workplace and human-centered approaches throughout my time in LA.
Yeah.
And be part of developing it.
Exactly, and that's what I want to ask you a question about. The culture in LA, as I'm learning, is very different.
Yeah.
It's not the tech bros, it's not the corporate finance from New York.
Exactly.
It's very unique, and I'm sure it influences and also impact how you create a vibe, a culture, and a workplace for them.
Yeah, so the core of LA is entertainment. We all know that, right? And so when you're creating a vibe for people who create vibes, you're having to think about something totally differently, right? You have the most creative people in the world around you. And it's funny, I've been in gaming for a year and a half now, and I've realized that gaming even takes it to a whole nother level, like creating something that literally never existed, and the animation and the characters and the stories are even deeper than what I found in my time at Hulu and Netflix. It's just presented in a different way.
These are storytellers, people who write the movies, build the games, like they create a narrative and a story to millions of others.
Yep.
And you are
trying to create that for them.
Exactly.
So think about the level of expectation. And I think that's what I love about my job, is I get to do that too. It's not just about running a building. It's now physical, experiential, and virtual environments. And so it's expanded exponentially.
Exactly. And I'm wondering if it's something that you feel is lacking in the conversation, in the industry, where it's all about people are productive. Are they more productive at home, or are they more productive in the office? And
I'm so sick of that conversation.
Exactly. And I think for you, the real question is like, how do we create an ecosystem, virtually, experiential, and physically, that enable or unlock creativity, that unleash innovation?
Yep. So here's the thing. I don't think there's one answer. And the reason why I'm sick of the conversation is because everyone is at the point now where we're just enough years into it, where they're going, what's the answer? There isn't one still. And honestly, I don't think there's going to be one. There is going to be, are you brave enough as a company to create the unique answer that is right for your company? What we want to create is that passion and that pride and that like true connection to what you're doing. Do I play games every day? No. But do you want to know why I love working at Riot Games? Because there is so much pride from people who do play games every day. And so you walk in and you can feel it. You can feel like Shogath matters to someone. And I'm like, well, it's this really strange like character that's been created that has this whole backstory, but he matters to someone. And it's funny, you walk through the doors of Riot Games and there's this there's a wall of player art, and it's all of the players' representations of the different art. And I stood there for probably 3 or 4 hours on my first day and said, explain this to me, because this is where the stories are. Right? And you wanna be able to feel that pride and feel those stories that ultimately your customer can bring in many businesses, but many businesses forget to bring that in.
And that's where I think as the workplace, the corporate real estate, even the team people, we felt a little alienated in that conversation of like, for or against offices.
Yeah.
It was never our job. Our job
It's
was
so
to
not about
translate the
offices.
culture. Exactly.
It's so funny because, we all work in workplace and people go, oh, so you run an office? I'm like, no. No, I really, really don't. I went and actually got my master's in organization development 2014 to 2016 because I realized so much of what I was doing was human dynamics, not offices. Yes, much of it at that point was happening in offices, but I figured that there had to be something educational that could help support this. And I went and got my master's at Pepperdine University. I was in the MSOD program, which is a wonderful program. But there was only 5 of us that have ever been through the program that planned on applying it to space. Not to, actual HR or whatever that may have been. And in applying it to space and saying, how do I manage space specifically? I heard in the last panel, Alana from Zoom said, I hate the word change management. And I think it's just gotten a bad rap in workplace because there is a ton of value to being purposeful about how we are helping people change their space. You spend more time if you are in an office in a day than you do anywhere else. And you spend more time working in a day than anything else. And so we should be purposeful about how we're supporting people in that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.